All right, so I've got my Bluetooth thing here because I'm thinking maybe it might be better for sound because this car, this Kia, one of the reviews on it was that it has a lot of cabin noise, and that definitely is true. It's very loud in the cabin. So I'm thinking this Bluetooth might make for better sound. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try it. But anyway, the interesting thing about these Bluetooths or these types of things, it seems to me, they seem to pick up high-pitched sounds at a disproportionately sensitive degree. So if I'm outside and there's a bird, if I'm the person who's actually present where the bird is, I might be able to barely hear the bird. But the person on the phone, it sounds like the bird is like chirping right into the microphone. So anyway, that and then so it doesn't pick up low sounds very well. So I'm thinking that the road noise is a low sound and that this thing won't pick it up very well. Whereas the car speaker, which obviously is also Bluetooth, it's different. So I guess it doesn't have anything to do with the Bluetooth. I guess it has everything to do with the speaker, the electronics or whatever of the speaker. So, all right. Anyway, enough of that. What I want to talk about today, I posted this really cool video about weird health habits that this guy has. This guy has a great channel. He does a really nice job with his videos. The videos are very pleasant to watch. He's got like smooth jazz playing in the background, and he's just got like a really chill type personality, a really chill type presence, just very relaxing. I don't know where he's from. He said where he was, but I couldn't understand what it was. I couldn't understand what he said. It sounded like it might have been Albania, maybe, or maybe he said the name of the town, and I don't know where, if he did, I probably wouldn't know what country, but it's not America, because he speaks with a, well, I guess it could be America. I was just assuming it wasn't America. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't know where it is. But he was talking about taking cold showers, and he was saying he took the temperature of the water coming out of his shower, and it was 14 degrees Celsius. That's why I thought it was another country, because he did everything in Celsius. And I think he made reference to providing a Fahrenheit conversion for the people in America. So that's what led me to believe he was in a different country. So anyway, he was just touting the benefits, and he backed it up with some science and some studies and some yada, 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 of taking cold showers. Not only cold showers, but like I said, 14 degrees Celsius, which he said was about 37 degrees Fahrenheit, because it was winter time wherever he was. Not only cold showers, but use the cold shower to give yourself as much of a shock as possible. So he says he stands directly under the shower and turns the shower on while he's standing there, so he doesn't have the opportunity to like stick his leg in and then go piece by piece, a little slow by slow. Just a boom, just a giant shock of ice cold water. So literally, 37 degrees. Whew, that's painful cold water right there. So, but apparently there's a laundry list of health benefits to this kind of thing. And there's a guy, I think his nickname is the Iceman, and he swims in glacier water, and he just has unbelievable unbelievably strong immune system. They can inject him with viruses and stuff, and nothing phases the guy. So, and that was the scientific test that he quoted because they did a study on this guy. So the Iceman, if that's his actual name, I can't remember. I think it's something like that. It's, Polar Man, Iceman, Glacier Man, something like that. Anyway, so it inspired me to talk about my own weird health practices, and and they are weird. So, but they seem to work for me. So what the heck, man? And the way my mind works is that I don't want to ever tell anybody what to do, because I don't think it works like that. And I think that's kind of the fatal flaw, or one of the several fatal flaws in Western medicine is that they tell you exactly what to do. Well, you know what? Exactly what to do doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's different. So really, I think what the ideal is to talk about what works for you and then spark the thought process that leads people down the path to finding out what works for them. Now, it might be exactly the same, and that's why Western medicine works sometimes, because sometimes it does work a lot, often, sometimes it does. But obviously, a lot of times it doesn't, So likewise with any type of natural remedy, I mean, it might work for you, it might not. I mean, you have different body chemistry, you have different physiological inclinations and predispositions. You might respond to ice cold water the same way these other people do, but you might have some type of predisposition and it might not be good for you, or maybe it just hurts and it provides you with no benefit because of the way. And so there's a net loss, because you gain pain, but you get no gain, I mean, so anything is possible. I mean, I've heard of people do very strange things and they swear that it works, and it's like, well, I don't think that would ever work for me. I mean, but nevertheless, I mean, you just get people thinking, and the key is, for me at least, is to think independently, So, like this guy, he said he takes cold showers. Well, now I'm going to start taking cold showers, but really I can't because I live in Florida. I turn on the water, and the cold water that comes out is like, I'm sure would be, equivalent to the hot water, or, it would, in relative terms, it might feel like warm water to what he's used to, or what these people that live in these other countries are used to, So I can't really do that. So, but it just got me thinking, So, and that's good. I mean, that's, to me, if you get people thinking in a positive and constructive way, that's possibly the best thing you could ever do for somebody, So this one of the strange things that my grandmother used to tout the benefits loudly, because she was a loud person, like we all are. We're all pretty loud. I might be the loudest, but she used to tout the benefits of hydrogen peroxide for brushing your teeth, right? And she had a really distinctive way of talking, a very cute, charming way of talking, until you heard so much of it, and after a while you couldn't stand the sound of it anymore. But that's another story, isn't it? But she had a very cute, endearing, very distinctive, very personable way of talking. And she would say, "I brush my teeth with hydrogen peroxide, and when I go to the dentist, I ain't never got no plaque. They said, 'Ma'am, why don't you ever have plaque on your teeth?'" So something along those lines. It might not be a perfect, that's definitely not a perfect impersonation, but it's something along those lines. I mean, she was this little tiny, little bird-like, petite little southern lady. So, I mean, maybe you can get a little handle on what the stereotype might be like for her. But I said, and then my sister got in a car wreck, and I don't know. It's a long time. Maybe the story has morphed inside my mind, but as I recall, they were recommending gum surgery for her because she basically slammed her teeth into the steering wheel. So she had to have all kinds of stuff done anyway. But after everything was done, after everything was fixed, so you're going to have gum surgery. Well, she started the hydrogen peroxide stuff, and then she did not have to have gum surgery. Now, I went through a period in my life where I was losing teeth like left and right. I think I'm missing 4. And that was back in the day, when I was practicing traditional medicine, and so I mean, you go to the dentist and it's just a mess. The whole thing is just a mess as far as I'm concerned. And I was doing everything they said to do, and I was just losing teeth like crazy. Even as a kid, I had terrible teeth. But at some point in time, I said, well, this is just crazy. These people are just, they just, I don't know what they're doing, They're just like digging into my head, taking money out of my pocket or something. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, I took to heart what my grandmother had said, and I started brushing my teeth with hydrogen peroxide. Well, I never had any more tooth problems. They just went away. And I did eventually one time go to the dentist because I started feeling so bad because I was like 10 years and I hadn't gone to the dentist, and I started to get that guilt complex of like, well, maybe I need to do what they say to do because, they say to do it, even though I don't really think I need to do it. That whole process. Trust me, when you start with natural medicine, it's not like a clean break, like you just jump over from traditional. No, you still have doubts and fears and insecurities because you've got the whole of culture basically against you, right? So that pressure does wear on you over time, and so sometimes you sort of in a ironic sense, you sort of backslide back into that traditional approach to things, and then you go back there and you find out, there's nothing really here, just like I decided before. Now I remember what I was thinking before when I decided just to leave all this nonsense behind, right? So that's what I did with the dentist, and the lady's like, she was like poke. She's like, you have no plaque on your teeth. I was like, thank you, Grandma. Right? And so that was pretty cool, and that's just doing hydrogen peroxide with baking soda once a week, or if even that. And then there came a time I had an abscess on both sides, because this stuff, in my experience, this stuff works so well. You get lazy and you get complacent and you stop doing what you have to do, even though it's nominal to begin with. You stop doing it because you just like, well, if I have a problem, I'll just go back and do that and I'll take care of it. So there's that issue, But so there came a point I like I said, once a week, then I backed off to once a month, and it was like once every 3 months. And at some point in time, I got like something that resembled an abscess on both sides of my face. Sore jaw, swollen cheekbones, or whatever, jawbones, I guess. And I said, oh man, I'm gonna have to go to the dentist soon. This is crazy. So I said, well, first I'll just rinse my mouth with hydrogen peroxide, and I did, and it just went away. Whatever it was, I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it was an abscess or something, but it just went away. Now I will grant you this: that in the beginning, when I first started doing this, that hydrogen peroxide will find. It has a very, 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 I think this is the right way to say this, a very low viscosity. Is it low viscosity or high viscosity? I think high viscosity is thick like syrup. I think low viscosity is like thin like water, right? Well, hydrogen peroxide is even thinner than water, I believe. And it probably doesn't make sense because it's 3% hydrogen peroxide, which means it's 97% water. So I guess it's mainly water. But the point is that those little bubbles that hydrogen peroxide makes, it will get down into the tiniest of cracks. That's my theory. That's what I believe. So it'll find every issue that you've got going on. And if you got an issue, and if you have cracks in your teeth, you're going to have an issue, period. Because brushing your teeth is not going to clean the tiny food particles and the bacteria that go after that food. It's not going to clean it out, right? Never. You can brush your teeth for 3 days without a break, and it's not going to get inside those tiny little cracks. But the hydrogen peroxide will get in there, let me tell you, and it will hurt like nothing. I distinctly remember that I was rinsing my mouth with hydrogen peroxide in the beginning when I first started this, and it felt like I could feel every vertebra in my back. I just had that mental image. It's not literally true, obviously, but I had that mental. I was like, oh, this hurts so bad. I couldn't believe it. And obviously, you don't just have to stand there and take it. You can do it until it hurts and then spit it out and then go back a week later and do it again. And it'll probably hurt a little bit less, and then, do it as long as you can stand it, and then go back a week later and do it again. It'll hurt a little bit less, or maybe you can do it every 3 days or whatever. Like I said, think independently, But every day I think it's a little bit too excessive. The hydrogen peroxide is very powerful, and it will burn your gums, and it will actually make your. I don't think it's good for your enamel. to do it every day. It has like an acidic quality. Even though hydrogen peroxide is completely and totally natural, it comes down in the rain, or when the rain hits the ground, it causes hydrogen peroxide to be created. It has something to do with rain, the ground, and tree roots. I can't remember all the details. I did look it up one time, but I can't remember all the details. It's totally natural. I remember my son had a panic attack because he swallowed a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. He was on the phone with poison control. He thought he had swallowed poison. Now, it says right on the bottles, maybe not every single bottle, but right on the bottle of hydrogen peroxide that it is an oral debrider, which means it attacks and cleans out bacteria and dead flesh, basically. So it's an amazing substance. It's a completely natural substance, and so it's cool stuff. I mean, there's doctors that have written books about it. There's a doctor that took pallets and pallets of it over to Africa and cured like 98% of all the diseases that he encountered. I mean, so 80% or 90, I can't remember the exact number, but it's an amazing substance. I mean, my grandmother was right about that. But so like I said in the beginning, your teeth, if you're anything like me, you're gonna be full of cracks. So when this stuff gets in there, man, and that flesh is inflamed because it's full of tiny food particles and bacteria, it's going to be inflamed. It's inflammatory. Everything's inflammatory, they say. Every disease, even like cardiovascular, cancer, everything is related to inflammation. But that's what they say. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying that's just what I've heard. So it's going to hurt, So you got to get it to the point. You got to do it every 3 days, once a week or whatever, pretty consistently in the beginning until it doesn't hurt anymore. And when it doesn't hurt, that means all your problems are gone. I mean, that's my experience. That's my observation. And I mean problems. I mean, like, when my teeth are good and strong, I can tell. They just feel strong. When you go to bite something, they just feel strong. And when I like I said, I back off and I don't do what I should be doing, my teeth start to hurt. They hurt with cold things, hot things. They hurt. They feel weak when I bite into things. I can just tell. And it's like, oh, I need to go. I call it give my teeth an acid wash. That's what I call it. But I just made that up. So that's that. And I brush my teeth with toothpaste, and then I brush my teeth with hydrogen peroxide and baking soda together. And then I rinse my mouth with hydrogen peroxide, and then I brush my teeth with toothpaste again, and that's it. The whole thing takes like 20 minutes, but that's what I mean by an acid wash. That's what I do. I mean, my teeth my whole mouth feels really clean. I don't have bad breath. My teeth don't hurt, and to me, it's amazing. And you know what? Swallow some of that hydrogen peroxide, because that's what that doctor in Africa did. You can't swallow a lot of it. It's an emetic. It will make you vomit. So don't swallow a lot of it. But anyway, so that's that. Now, so I had this idea, and then I just turned in the out way for this place. PQ. So time goes by, years and years and years. My teeth are doing great. I never go to the dentist. Everything is just wonderful. Like I said, I slack off. It starts to hurt a little bit. So I go back and I do it again. Everything's fine again. I mean, it's been through this cycle. I've cycled through this process like 12 times. It's no longer like something that I have any doubt about. It's just, yep, okay, this is what works for me. And then, so I meet my girlfriend, Shannon, and she's into all the natural stuff, like to an extreme degree. We're buying natural toothpaste. Now, I'm an 89-cent Aquafresh, or whatever that, it's not Aquafresh, it's the other one. It's I can't remember the name of it, but it used to be 89 cents at Walmart. Now it's $1. But anyway, so she won't go near that stuff because of the chemicals or whatever. But that's just kind of my mentality. She's like a $7 a tube, all natural, free range, non-GMO. Now, I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying, like the $7 a tube, all natural stuff. So we got this cinnamon toothpaste, and I said, look at that, cinnamon, huh? Isn't that interesting? So I said, well, if they're going to put cinnamon in the toothpaste and it's good for people, well, I'm going to put cinnamon on the toothpaste, and then it'll be even better. That's the way my mind works. If a little bit is good, a lot is better. That's not always actually true, of course, but that's just the way my mind works. So I did that, and it's like, it was pretty good. I like the taste of cinnamon, you know, but it left like a film on my mouth. So I said, okay, well, let's try some, some turmeric, because turmeric is like notoriously anti-inflammatory and miraculously 10,000 health benefits. And so I tried some, but that was all right. I just started experimenting. I'm a huge cayenne fan. They say if you take a little bit of cayenne pepper, it'll actually grow heart muscle. If you're having a heart attack, cayenne pepper will reverse a heart attack within 30 seconds. You have to put it in some water and spoon feed it to the person that's having the heart attack, of course. You can't put powder in their mouth. That won't do any good. But there's stories of people that do this, and, like the guy was cutting his grass, he had a heart attack, the paramedics came, the wife asked the paramedic, hey, can I ride with him to the hospital? And all the way to the hospital, she's giving him little spoonfuls of warm water mixed with cayenne pepper. And they get to the hospital, and he's like, I'm fine, let's go home, And he goes home and he finishes cutting the grass, So is that a true story? Is it an urban legend? I don't know. So, but that is a story out there. So, cayenne. So I finally settled on turmeric and cayenne. So I've been doing this for a long time now. Probably like a year I haven't rinsed my mouth in hydrogen peroxide. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I haven't done this in a long, this is going to hurt, because I got a bunch of cracks that have tiny food particles in them, and then the bacteria is attaching the food attacking the food. It's going to hurt, Yep, doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt at all. That cayenne, I have to assume, I can come to no other conclusion, that cayenne and that turmeric is controlling the growth of bacteria and infect any other type of infection in my mouth, Now, I will say that my teeth are not perfect. They do feel a little weak. They are, at this exact moment, a little sensitive to cold, especially cold. Not so much heat, but mainly cold. Even like normal cold, like blueberries, you get them out of the fridge, it hurts my teeth. So, I think I'm going to go. I've been planning on doing the acid wash for a couple months now, because it takes me forever to get around to doing things. And I think if I do that like 2 or 3 times, like 1 week once, next week is twice, 3 weeks, 2 or 3 times, I think probably that my teeth won't be sensitive to cold anymore. So maybe there's some micro cracks in there that the turmeric and the cayenne aren't reaching, because they don't have that super low viscosity that the hydrogen peroxide mixed with water does. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just theorizing, thinking independently, and coming to my own conclusions. And those are my conclusions at this point in time. So I'm doing that. I'm doing the cold showers, and I start. Oh, this is another story. I'll tell another time. I got to go meet Shannon here for. This guy's like some kind of a psychic or something. I'm supposed to be able to bring messages from dead people or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it is. Okay. God bless everybody. Bye.